Well, so you've heard a lot about Prime putting cameras in trucks. A lot of mixed emotions about it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hello, everybody. This is our Deuce with Cajun Couple Trucking. Hopefully, y'all can hear me well. I'm back in Obetz, Ohio, which is right outside of Columbus, if I remember correctly. Anyway, as the introduction said, I'm going to be talking about this deal that everybody's been griping about, cameras in the trucks. For one, I'm just going to go out and say it. I think it's a good idea. I know of several people that have been in situations where without a camera, they wouldn't have had anything. Right now, Prime puts no cameras in the trucks. How they do on critical events is they check line data from that radar. Okay, say you have a hard break. Okay, they can go into that line data from the radar and see what if there was something in front of you, how far it was in front of you, and how long you were following too closely or you were following far enough. When you look down below your speedometer, you can see that the radar's picking up something. You can see the distance. And in the newer trucks, you can see the speed of the object, whether it's getting further away, closer, or what. So they look at your speed. They look at when that object crossed into your path. They look at how fast you were going, how fast that object was going. Then they decide whether or not. Now, with roll stability, they have nothing but the line data, which is not very conclusive. Okay, so with a camera in the truck, they can see that 15 mile per hour sign, see that you were doing 25 miles per hour. They can see that you hit your brakes. They don't have to have the line data. Now, where it's going to save us as drivers is when someone cuts us off, when posted speed limits aren't, we all know it. We've always seen it. Even four-wheeler drivers see it and complain about it. I hear it all the time, where it'll say, you'll see a sign, it's 65 miles an hour. You see a sign that is changing to 60. Then you get up there and it changes to 60. You hit your brakes. You get going a little bit further. Then all of a sudden it goes 50. And then no warning. And then 45. And then 30, no warning. It would have been nice to have a warning. We hit our brakes for that. They can see it on the camera. Cameras in the system that they're talking about implementing, cameras are activated when an event occurs, an accident, a hard break, a roll stability, stuff like that. All right. Yes, some of those systems, they have an inward-facing camera. All right. Here's the thing. Prime already has cameras and inward-facing cameras in its fleet. Okay, yeah, I know earlier I said they don't, but they do. This is what they call the top 200. The top 200 does not mean you're the best 200 drivers. This is a category you do not want to be in. The top 200 are the top 200 drivers in the company that are most likely to have an accident. That's why they put those cameras in those trucks, so they can watch them. Yes, the inward camera is turned on when an event happens. Okay, that camera sees what you're doing at the time of the incident. Okay, you do not want to be on that list, and if you get on that list, you need to shape up. Now, with the cameras, it's going to help. And I really wish I could release this footage that my daughter sent me earlier. Last night she was driving through construction. She was driving at about 45 miles an hour, and she noticed someone acting erratically in front of her. So she slowed down, did what she was supposed to do: slow down, give them plenty of room, increase the distance between you and that person. Well, this person made a U-turn on a one-way, two-lane construction, come back, darted between her and a vehicle trying to pass her, and hit her truck. This was all caught on her trainer's dash cam. I would definitely tell anybody who's driving a truck, get you a dash cam. Even if Prime's going to put one in your truck, get your own. So that way you have proof of what happened. Without that, her trainer would have had to pay $1,000 deductible. But because they have that, because they got the license plate number, because they got a description of the car, the police are looking for the person now and going to try to charge him with it. All right. So anyway, let's get back to cameras in it. All right. I've seen lots and lots of posts about this. I've seen lots and lots of people, oh, if they put cameras in, I'm quitting Prime. Oh, that'll be the last day. I won't even bring the truck back. I'm just going to mail them the keys. I've seen comments like that all over. Even comments of, oh, they're just trying to switch culpability to the driver. You know what? You're the captain of your ship. You are so happy to say, oh, I'm the captain of my own ship. I can do this. I can do that. I can do whatever I want to. I can, but when responsibility comes, you want all of the rewards, none of the responsibility. When it comes for time for you to have responsibility, you start saying, well, Prime didn't give me good enough equipment. Prime didn't this, Prime didn't that. So-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. With the cameras, now we have proof. So, what's the real problem here, people? What's the real? Let's get down to the real here. Those of you that are complaining, those of you that are whining, those of you that are throwing a fit, it's probably because you're doing something wrong. Probably because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Probably because you are not keeping a safe following distance. You are not watching your mirrors. You are not, if you ever, and I mean ever, have a car pass you that is not a police cruiser traveling it at over 90 miles an hour, and it surprises you, you did not see it in one of your mirrors, then you're not paying attention. Stop watching YouTube on your phone while you drive. Stop playing with your phone. Stop playing games on your phone. Stop texting while you're driving. Pay attention. You are hauling a vehicle that's capable of 80,000 pounds, 40 tons. You are a guided missile on the roadway. You can kill a lot of people. You need to be professional. And in my opinion, if you can't be professional, you need not drive a big truck. You need to get out of the trucking industry. Leave room for those of us who care about ourselves, care about the general public, and care to follow the laws. Now that rant's over. Yes, the camera systems that they're talking about will have forward and inward facing cameras. They're saying that the inward facing cameras will not be activated unless you're in one of the top 200, or unless they have reason to believe, because of prior data, you're always getting criticals, you're always getting following too close, you're always getting hard braking, you're always getting all these criticals. Yes, you need to have a camera watching you. You need to, every time you hit the brake hard, let's send in 30 seconds of video to see what you were doing. Did they have both hands on the wheel? Were they playing on their phone? Were they even looking at the road? I mean, They don't have to know that you're watching YouTube. They don't have to have it hooked up to your phone. All they can do is watch you doing this all the time. You're driving down the road. This is what someone watching something on their phone looks like. We've all seen it. Never checking the mirrors, only glancing forward. And some people rely on that lane assist and the adaptive cruise control and don't even look up at the road. I have seen drivers like that. I've passed drivers like that where I'm only doing 1 or 2 miles per hour faster than they are, and I can see them. I'm going, check my mirror, check my mirror. Check my mirror, and then I check the truck next to me, and he's sitting there driving with his head down, not even paying attention. He's listening for that lane departure. If it's on the left, he'll turn a little bit to the right. If it's on the right, he'll turn to the left. And he's counting on that adaptive cruise to keep him from hitting someone in front of him. Be truthful. Is that you? Hopefully not. Hopefully no one that watches this has ever done that. Hopefully no one that watches this will ever do that. So, in my opinion, and I know I'll probably get flack for this, if you have a problem with someone putting something in something they own that does not physically impede you in doing your job, does not physically harm you, then you're doing something wrong with their equipment that you know you're not supposed to be doing, and you don't want to get caught. It's not about trust. This day and age, would you let someone take your vehicle and drive it 3, 4, 5, 600,000 miles without some way to cover your rear if something happens? I guarantee you not one person watching this is going to say, yeah, I would. Heck, most people don't even trust their own spouses. They're putting dash cams in their home vehicles, and they're using the excuse, just in case you get in an accident, I want proof that you weren't at fault. You know what? In any accident, insurance companies assign fault. Policemen assign fault. You are going to be at fault at some juncture. Even if it's only 5% at fault, you're going to be at fault. There's never going to be a time when you have an accident where you are 0% at fault. Because that's how it runs. Insurance companies get together and they decide who's most at fault, and that's the person that pays. But how they get their rates to rise is you were about 10% at fault because you were doing 2 miles per hour over the speed limit. Oh, you were 15% at fault because you weren't hitting your brakes when you noticed that person coming into your lane. I know. I have friends who are insurance adjusters, and they tell me all the time that they never allow anybody to go through an accident and not be at least 5% at fault. So, the cameras, you don't want the cameras? You want to quit? Then quit. It'll leave more freight for the rest of us. I hate to put it bluntly, but if they want to put a camera in my truck, they can put a camera in my truck, even though I'm going to lease. Even if I buy my truck, if they say you need a camera in the truck that we install, I'm going to say install it. Have fun. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm still going to have my own camera. I already have a camera sitting at home waiting for me for when I get my truck and I pick up my wife. Here's the thing for those of you who say, oh, it's going to impede on my privacy. It's going to be, you know what? This is depending on which system they go with, that inward facing camera will be in front of your curtain at all times. You can get the curtains that go across the windshield and block it off. You can get behind your curtain and block it off. If you are within the camera shot, okay, if you're within the camera shot and indecent, then everybody in the truck stop can see you. Everybody in the rest stop, everybody at the receiver or shipper can see you. It wasn't private. So how's that impeding on your privacy? How was that crossing a line? Whatever giblets you were showing, you're showing to the whole world anyway. You know? It's not worth the fight to try to stop someone from protecting their investment. No, you want to protect your investment. I mean, think about it. Who complains about you putting up security cameras at your house? Maybe your neighbor if it's looking at their house. But, I mean, I can see someone complaining about that if it looks at their house but covers no part of your yard, like my sister-in-law had a neighbor do. There was no camera, and then they put a swimming pool in the backyard, and all of a sudden there's a camera on a pole not watching any of their neighbor's yard, looking directly over the fence at their pool. And the police told them, can't make them take it down, it's on their property. They can point that camera wherever they want. Okay? That's a privacy issue. Not a camera that records in a loop, 30-second loop, that when a critical event happens, it sends in the last 30 seconds to your employer who owns the truck. Okay? Now, again, like I said, if they want to put them in lease trucks, I'm all for that too. When they want to put them in owner-operator trucks, I'm good with that. But in that case, the owner-operator owns that truck outright. I don't think, I can think you can say, well, you have to have this much horsepower, you have to have this, you have to have this. We don't want you to go over 65. That's all company image type stuff. You know. However, when you say you want to put a camera in there, that should be the owner-operator's right. Now, let's get off cameras a little bit and talk about these roll stability, critical events. I'm not sure how the system does it. In most, it's either a gyroscope or a mercury switch. That basically, when it tilts a little bit too much, it sets off. If it's a mercury switch, it sparks, and that sets off your critical event. If it's a gyroscope, whenever it comes across, it's programmed that when you hit this, it's a critical event. Okay? Or it's going to be more like this. Alright. Several things. Peterbilts and Kenworths are going to be more susceptible to these turning critical events than Freightliners. And that's because of the front airbags. You'll notice the front of the truck moves more. It's not as stiff. Okay? Number 2, Freightliners can be ordered with the airbags in front for a smoother ride. Again, it flexes more, which means that your roll stability events are going to be more frequent. Okay? Number 3, hitting the brakes in a turn. Okay? Sorry, making
Customer
it.
14, your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower 2.
Gotta love loves, huh? Anyway, when you hit your brakes while you're in a turn, your trailer is going to come forward more, which is going to jack your cab a little bit more, which is going to roll it a little bit more, which is going to give you a greater chance for a critical event, okay? Now, accelerating will help even that out, but accelerating too much with either the mercury switch or the gyroscope is going to slide it over and give you a critical. So, what's the best way to handle it? Well, for those of you that took an actual CDL school,
Customer 13, your shower is ready.
as someone who's
Please
taught people,
proceed to shower 1.
you slow down.
Customer 14,
Oh,
your
come
shower
on.
is ready.
13 and
Please
14 need to go
proceed
get your
to
shower
shower
so
2.
it stops this. All right. Anyway, when you enter the curve, say it's in freeway entrance on a cloverleaf, you know it's usually 25 to 20, sometimes 15 miles an hour. You should be doing about 10 miles per hour under that. I know Prime says half of it, okay? 25 do 15, 20 do 10, okay? Now when you get about 3/4 of the way through that turn, now you're starting to hit the acceleration lane. It's about to straighten out. It's about to go. You're about to get on the interstate. You need to try to be as close to 65 as you can, right? So you hit the fuel. You accelerate. You accelerate hard. Whenever it straightens out, when it straightens out, you should be about 20, 25 miles an hour. Okay. Now you're going to put your left blinker on. You're going to check. You're going to check. You're going to check. Is it clear? It's clear. Let me come on over. When you come on over, if you're still not over 40 miles an hour, turn that blinker off. Turn your flashers on. Your four-way flashers. Let people know coming up behind you, I'm moving slow. Okay? Now, entering and exiting truck stops. Making turns. Okay, you got the green light to make a turn. Take your time in making that turn. Be safe. Don't rush through it. Don't accelerate hard. I don't care if your light turns red. You were already out in the intersection. You were already making your turn. Complete your turn. Be safe. Okay? Now, about entering and exiting truck stops. I know there's a lot of truck stops out there. Don't have a red light. There's no availability of a red light. You can't hit a side street, turn, and go to a red light. You have to go straight out into traffic on a 2-lane or 4-lane highway. Okay. In those cases, wait for a bigger space. You're not driving a four-wheeler. You're not driving a one-ton pickup. You're not driving something that goes 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. You're driving a big truck with a heavy load, and it's going to take you a while to get to 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. Wait for a bigger area to get in. Okay? Now, saying that, if you're driving a truck, you're wanting to get in that truck stop. You see a truck trying to get out. Stop. Stop the traffic. Have your blinker on. Let him out. Be courteous. Being courteous works both ways. I know a lot of times other drivers do not want to be courteous to you. That does not mean that we don't show and treat people the way we want to be treated. We need to be the example. We need to be the person that they look to and say, now that's a professional driver. That's the way I want to treat people. That's the way I want to be treated. So let me treat others that way. Let's be the example in the industry, guys. And I don't care what company you work for. You're a professional driver. Be the example. Wait till it's safe. Help other truckers out. Block that road. You're about to turn in. He's trying to come out. You know what? You see it's clear on that side. You see you got 3 cars behind you because you've been paying attention to your mirrors. Stop, leave your blinker on, let him come out, and then go. Do not go, hey, come on out, because that's giving him direction, and if he gets in an accident, he can say, well, he said it was clear. Don't give him any reason to point the finger at you. But wait for a little bit. Give him the courtesy of coming out. Now you look up and you see that he looks at you, then he starts playing on his phone. I'd go into the truck stop. No telling how long he's going to play on that game. He might be putting yes and dropping his phone and taking off. At that point, you'd only be up to about 3 miles an hour. You could stop, let him through. Okay, so in the short term, let me say, there should never be a reason for a roll stability critical event. Never. And I can see hard braking. Someone cuts you off and hits the brakes. Here's where your awareness comes in. Because I've had several 4-wheelers try to do this. I've had more trucks, 18-wheelers, try to cut me off and brake check me than I've had 4-wheelers in the last year. Okay? That includes while I was driving hot shot and whenever I'm driving these trucks. Big rigs. But if you see them barreling around you in your mirror, okay? Do the courteous thing. Let off the fuel. Get ready to brake. If he's still barreling around you, lightly press the brake or turn on your engine brake, your Jake brake. 2 clicks down. Let it start slowing you down. Now he's going to come around. He's going to turn on his blinker or not. And whenever you see the front end of that truck or the tires of that 4-wheeler start to turn into your lane, that's your cue. You know he's too close. You know he hasn't waited for you to flash him over. You know he hasn't waited. He's going to come in close. If not, he's going to brake check you when he does come in close. If he's not just coming in close. Throw that Jake brake into the 3rd click. Get on your brakes. You shouldn't have to hit them mega hard. You should not be able to. You should not need a critical event at this point. You're backing off. Okay. Now he comes in. He hits his brakes. At this point, you may have to get a critical. You may have to jam down on the brakes. But here's what you've done. If they send in, okay, say we have cameras. Say you're in the top 200 and they see what you were doing. Okay, they see. They hear the Jake brake come on. They see that you started slowing down. They see that you've applied a little bit of the brake. They see this truck come up and come over in front of you. Okay. They hear the Jake brake, the 3rd click. They see that you're dropping, you're braking like you're stab braking, okay? Which you're dropping 5 miles per hour in 3 seconds. As putting good distance. Then they see this truck in front of you lock up its wheels or car, smoke coming from it because they locked up. Now they see the front end of your truck dip down a little bit. They see speed drastically drop, and they hear the critical event and see it flash across the screen. You did everything you needed to do. You did everything you could do to avoid that accident. If there is an accident, critical event, I'm thinking that they would probably remove that one. Even though they say they don't like to remove them, they would probably remove that one. Turn around. They have the cameras. You're playing on your phone. You're not checking your mirrors. You did not see. You know, you were supposed to check the mirrors every 7 to 11 seconds, all right? If you don't know that, because I know they don't teach it in PSD, most trainers don't teach that, you passed your written test to get a CDL Class A. It's in that manual. You should have read it. Okay? So, in that 30 seconds, you should have checked your mirror a minimum of 2 times. 7 to 11 seconds, right? You should have really checked it 3 to 4 times. Okay? Now, you haven't checked your mirrors. You're looking down at something, probably your phone. You don't have both hands on the steering wheel. This catches you completely by surprise. The truck brakes before you do. Now, they've got all the proof. However, honestly, both ways, if they didn't have the camera, they'd have the same line data pretty much, except for you used your Jake brake. You were preparing and you braked before the truck broke. Yeah, before the automatic brake on the truck. Okay, so more data with the cameras. Stress back to, if you have a problem with the cameras, you're probably doing something that you shouldn't be doing. So let's go to that. Let's go with that. All right. If you don't like the idea of the cameras, I understand that. I don't like the idea of the cameras either. Am I going to accept them? Yes. Are they going to save my butt? I hope they never have to. But knowing that they're there and knowing that I have something to cover my butt in court, I have something that my company can use in court to cover my butt, I feel a little bit more comfortable with that. However, I'm still going to have my personal camera. And y'all are going to laugh at this, but my personal camera has a forward-facing and a rear-facing camera. That way, sometimes I go through that camera footage and I'm like, yeah, I need to do better. I can tell I was tired at that time. I should have pulled over 5 minutes before I did. It helps me to become a better driver. And, however you look at it, I use that camera in Hot Shot, and I was able to send in footage from my company showing that people cut me off and all, and showing that I still had plenty of distance, still had plenty of, time to stop. The thing about it is you want to be the captain of your own ship. You want to have all of the rewards and none of the responsibility. I'm not gonna say that's what's wrong with society today, but it's a big part of it. Without consequences, and we're teaching our kids in school right now, there's no consequences to anything. So, that's about all I have. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for all the people who have subscribed and are following. Hopefully you find some value in the video. If you know someone who wants to drive, or if you're looking at driving for Prime, I'd appreciate it if you use my driver code. I'll put it in the comments, but it's VEIAAN. And as always, keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and the mirrors between the ditches. And we'll catch you later.